We were all promised a utopia, right? A world where artificial intelligence just steps in, handles the boring stuff, and gives us back the one thing we literally can never buy: time. But look around today. The reality we're actually living in is way more complex and honestly a bit unsettling. We're watching this massive economic tidal wave completely reshape the ground right beneath our feet. So today in this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly what this huge 2026 shift is all about, why it's happening, and most importantly, how you can actually navigate it.
Here's our roadmap. We'll start with the AI utopia that wasn't, then dive right into the great skill collapse. After that, we'll look at the rise of sovereign intelligence, the new orchestration economy, and finally, we'll wrap things up with adapting to the exponential. All right, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the AI utopia that wasn't, the reality of the 2026 integration.
The quiet revolution of 2025 didn't arrive with some cinematic bang or a crazy robot takeover. Not at all. It happened almost invisibly, just weaving itself right into the fabric of our global infrastructure. We were promised a utopia, giving us back the one thing we can never buy: time. That perfectly captures the bait and switch we're dealing with. Because instead of just emptying out our inboxes and sending us all to the beach, this tech evolution hit us like a tidal wave. And now, well, we have to completely figure out how to swim all over again.
For decades, we've basically lived in the information age, right? Where just knowing things, having the facts, was power. Knowledge was your absolute leverage. But we've decisively crossed over into the intelligence age now. And today, the ability to synthesize and execute is the only currency that really matters. It's a total game changer. Execution has entirely outpaced sheer knowledge, mostly because, well, the machines already hold all the information anyway.
Section 2, the great skill collapse, the hollowing out of the middle class.
Okay, think about the classic career playbook. Step 1, go to school, get a degree. Step 2, start at the bottom in an entry-level role. Step 3, work your way up to being the expert. It's that traditional, trusted apprenticeship path we've all relied on for generations. The whole mailroom to corner office trajectory. But here's the catch. As AI has rapidly evolved from handling basic customer service straight into doing junior coding and paralegal work, that middle section, step 2, it's just gone. It's being completely hollowed out and automated into absolute oblivion. Economists have a name for this terrifying new reality. They're calling it the skill collapse. It's defined as the economic phenomenon where the massive productivity gains of AI-human hybrids automate entry-level roles, leading to the death of the apprenticeship. And take a second to really think about what that means for us. From these prestigious corporate law firms over in London to massive tech hubs in Sydney, the very places where we used to, make our early human mistakes and learn the ropes, they're just vanishing. If you really want to grasp the sheer, honestly jarring magnitude of this disruption, just consider this ratio: 1 to 50. It's staggering. We are at a point where one single senior architect, armed with a fleet of AI tools, can literally do the work of an entire 50-person department. To put that into perspective, that level of individual leverage is completely 100% unprecedented in all of human history.
Moving on to Section 3, rise of sovereign intelligence, the new class of creators. So as these traditional paths are collapsing, entirely new ones are springing up in their place. Picture this. On one side, you've got a traditional 4-year degree from a legacy institution, which, let's be real, usually comes saddled with massive student debt. On the other side, a simple internet connection paired with a high-level understanding of AI orchestration. The market has figured out incredibly fast that the second option is vastly more valuable right now. A legacy degree just cannot keep pace with someone who's directing an entire army of digital workers straight from their kitchen table.
And this brings us to a reality that Silicon Valley kind of glosses over in their quarterly reports: the rise of the sovereign intelligence economy. We are talking about insanely lean teams, literally just 3 or 4 people out there building billion-dollar companies. The barrier to entry to start a business, it's dropped to absolute zero. Anyone can jump in and play. But, and this is a huge but, the barrier to retention, meaning actually staying relevant and defending your business, has hit the absolute ceiling. Today, your personal brand and your ability to direct machine intelligence are literally your only moats.
Section 4, the new orchestration economy, trading hours for systems.
Because of this massive shift, it forces us to ask a really uncomfortable question. How do you become an expert when the entry-level path no longer exists? Seriously, if the traditional stepping stones have been completely ripped away, how are you supposed to cross the river? It challenges every single assumption we've ever held about career progression in the modern era.
Well, the answer lies in making the massive leap from the gig economy to the orchestration economy. It's no longer about doing the task yourself. It is all about designing the system that does the task. Because if you're still just trading your hours for dollars, you're playing a losing game against machines that don't sleep, don't eat, and are learning exponentially faster every single second. This new economy, it relies entirely on directing machine intelligence to scale up your own capabilities.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Adapting to the Exponential, your survival guide for 2026.
Right now, you are standing at a major crossroads, and I'm going to give you the brutal truth here. Survival isn't about being the smartest person in the room anymore. It's about being the most adaptable entity in the network. We are actively stepping into this intense period of human augmentation, where the line between where you end and the machine begins is getting totally blurred. Anyone who's a rigid thinker, who's just clinging to legacy knowledge, they're going to be at a massive, massive disadvantage.
So what exactly do the winners of this next decade look like? Well, first off, they lean into this exponential shift instead of trying to fight it. They fundamentally get that just knowing things isn't enough anymore. Instead, they master the art of asking the best questions. That's the real secret sauce right there. The winners aren't going to be the ones with the most facts memorized. They'll be the ones who know exactly how to prompt, direct, and orchestrate these machines to dig up the perfect solutions.
I want to wrap up this explainer by leaving you with one really powerful thought to chew on. The world is being rewritten in code and prompt, and the pen is in your hand. The 2026 shift, it's really just the starting line of this incredible journey. You have the actual power to direct this intelligence, to build your own unbreakable moat, and to design the systems of tomorrow. The entire world is changing right in front of us. So, what are you going to write with that pen?